Hey you guys, welcome to your first day of science. This is a video that is going to help you out with making your Reasons for the Seasons project. Because we recently have had sort of a more serious crackdown asking that we do not go to stores and stuff like that unless it's really essential, I have decided to change your explanation of the Seasons project from a 3D model to a document in Microsoft, because I don't want you to have to be going out and buying balls and baubles and paint and stuff like this. Okay? All I need you to do is show your knowledge. So this is our research page, which will obviously be put up into the science resources on Edmodo as well. But this is what your project is asking. So all you need to do is create a Microsoft Word document that showcases your learning about why seasons exist, rather than a 3D model, okay? So if we go have a peek over here, this was your research collection sheet that everybody was asked to do, and it shows you what concepts I wanted you to have on your model. So it's exactly the same information, and this should be glued into your Sky Science book, and mostly all of you have already completed it. In case anybody has lost this sheet, I will also put it in with the Sky Science or just science resources on Edmodo. Okay? So I'm going to show you quickly how I would go about making this sort of sheet. And really what I'm showing you is how to insert pictures and draw text boxes in Microsoft Word so that you can make a really cool document that shows this, okay? So images that you have to have an image showing the sun and the position of all Earths during the 4 seasons, including the tilt of the axis, okay? You also need to have a little symbol on each Earth that identifies what season it would be. And then we need to include a written legend that explains what season it would be on each of your little Earth models, when the spring equinox happens, when the fall equinox happens, and the summer and winter solstices, and what each of those things is. Okay? So this will be, I think, pretty simple. It's a cool little activity, and it's nice because we get to practice some Microsoft Word skills, which is always a good thing. So I have my Microsoft document here. The first thing that I'm going to do is change the layout because I want more room for my picture. So I've changed it in orientation from portrait to landscape, okay? The next thing that I'm going to do is go to margins, and I'm actually going to make my margins narrow because, again, that's going to give me a little bit of extra room. So one thing that I always have struggled with if I'm using pictures is when you pop them into the document, they go really big or really small, and it's hard to adjust them. So that doesn't happen to me, I always insert a text box, and then I can go ahead and make whatever I want, and it will stay in that certain size. So click Insert, go all the way down here to Text Box, click on this guy, and then we're going to draw text box, okay? And the first thing that I'm going to draw in there is my sun, because obviously I need all of my Earths to be orbiting around my sun. Now, if you go on to the internet and you go to images and you click on something like seasons image, seasons explanation maybe, then we're going to find stuff like this. And it's going to have a lot of this information on it. If you take something like this off of the internet, then the best that you can get is a D. Because what I really want you to be showing me is that you know how to make an illustration and you have learned this information on your own. So you know how to actually present it on your own. Okay? So I'm going to go up here, and rather than just copy and pasting something like that, I'm just going to look for a sun. Oh my goodness, such good options. Okay, I like this one, so I'm going to click on it. Then I'm going to right click. right click. Then I'm going to save the image. Copying the image and pasting will not always work. So to guarantee that you don't get frustrated, save the image. I always like to save things on my desktop because they're just easy to find that way. So I click on desktop and I'm going to save this as sun 1. Okay? Then I click save. Then I'm going to return to my Word document. I'm going to go where I want my sun to be, which is right in the middle of the page. Then I will click Insert, Picture, and then scoot up to Desktop, search for Sun 1, and Insert. And then it's going to pop it in there for me exactly where I want it to be and exactly the size that I want it to be, which is cool. Okay? Now, here's my sun right in the middle. The next thing I need to show is 4 different Earths. Okay? So the next thing I would do, I would go to Insert, and then I would go back over here to Text Box, Draw Text Box, and I'm just going to draw in a box where I want my Earths to go. If you want all of your boxes to be the same size, you can even right-click and go to Copy, and then move to where you want to be, right-click again, go to Paste, and it will copy that exact same box for you, in case you're worried that they're not all going to be the same size, which is cool. Okay, so now I'm moving those around. And I have to say, this is one of the awesome things about our e-learning, because we often wouldn't have computers for stuff like this, and we wouldn't maybe have time to go through a nice lesson of how to make text boxes. So I think it's pretty exciting. Okay, so I have my boxes of where my pictures of Earth are going to go. Wonderful, that was easy. The next thing that I'm going to have to do is write in some labels of what each of these Earths would be experiencing. So would it be summer for this Earth right here? Would it be winter? Would it be fall? And the easiest possible way to do this is to add another text box. It's so great. It's such a great feature to know how to use. So I go Insert. I'm going to go back to Text Box, Draw Text Box, and then I'm going to add another little one. And in this one, I'll be able to type, bloop, bloop, bloop. So I'll be able to say, oh, it's spring in this box. It's fall in this box. It's winter. And that's a really nice way to make sure that my text lives right where I want it to be. Same thing, if you would like to copy this and paste it, then you know that all of those little boxes are going to be the same. Okay? Copy and paste, and we'll move that one down there. Okay? Now, the very last thing that you need is some sort of symbol on each of your Earths that tells me, that illustrates to me in a quick second which season it is on that Earth. Okay? So we've got a couple ways of doing this. First, let's get ourselves an Earth, just to make sure we know what's going in those boxes. Okay, so remember, we need to include our Earth's tilt. Yeah, you know what? It's going to be too easy if I do that part for you. Sorry, my loves. I'm going back. I'm only showing you formatting, because otherwise I think it will be too simple. So the next thing that I'm going to tell you is just how to insert a little symbol. So here we go. I'm going to have my Earth here. Up here, it's going to tell me what season it is. And right here, if you choose, or you can make a little one on top of your Earth, it's your choice, I'm going to say what little symbol I would like. So I think for summer, well, let's do winter. I guess it's a bit easier. I'm going to do a snowflake. Okay, that's pretty obvious. So I'll click my snowflake. I right-click, save image as go up to desktop so you know where it will be. Call it Snowflake so you don't get confused. Then go over here, and I'm going to insert picture, not quill, snowflake. And then it's going to show up in that box, okay? So it's pretty obvious when I look at it what season it is up there. It's going to be winter, right? You're going to do that for each of the boxes, and that will really clearly make it easy to tell what season it is, what season it is, okay? Now the next thing that you're going to do is create a little bit of a legend. So for me, I'm just going to put my diagram down there for a minute, and I'm going to think about what I'd like my legend to be like. So I'm just going to call it a legend, and then on this page I'm going to have my information that explains what's going on in this picture. So we also need the definition of an equinox and the summer solstice and the winter solstice. We need the dates of those things, and we need to know what causes it. So in my legend, I would, on my picture, maybe label them like this: A, winter. So then when I come back up, I would say A, so I know which one I'm talking about, winter. Then I would start putting in my information. Winter solstice equals, and then I would describe it. What does the winter solstice mean? Okay, what causes the winter solstice? And then I would describe it. Date of the winter solstice, and then I would give myself the date. Okay? So pretty simple, and then it's nice. Make it a little jazzy for me so that when I get to look through them, they all look sort of different and beautiful. I'm going to give myself a different font. I'll put that in the middle. Oh, I think I need it to be bigger. Okay? Organize your legend however you like. Make sure it's tidy. Make sure that it makes sense. If you have any questions about how to format this, or if you're unclear about any of the instructions that I've provided you, please ask a couple questions, but do make sure that you read all of the instructions over first, because I think you'll find that it's pretty straightforward, and I know you're going to do a great job. Okay, good luck everybody.